So backpacker hostels have existed in Europe for years. That wasn't the case with India. In around 2011, when I went out, I realized this is something that India should have because 370 million people are in the age group that actually requires a hostel to stay at. From zero to today, I think we have around 400, 500 odd hostels across the country. Over the next 5 years, we hope to reach about 25,000 beds. COVID was devastating. A lot of us lost so much. Real estate crashed, especially hospitality. To every situation, there is a silver lining. That was the time that we really expanded. We doubled down on the hostels that we wanted to add.
Give me the last bit of advice that you have for founders.
If you believe in something, just hang in there. There'll be a lots of ups and downs. But if you just stick it out, there'll be a time when somebody will be able to see what you're building and why you're building and what is the problem that you're trying to solve.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to yet another episode of Let's Talk Scale. This is a show where we feature companies that have scaled in India across difficult sectors and extremely important sectors. Today, I have Pallavi Agarwal. Pallavi, how are you doing?
All good, thank you. Thank you for having me over.
So to start with, for people that haven't heard about goStops, what is goStops?
So we're a chain of backpacker hostels. I prefer to call it youth hotels, but I think the nomenclature globally is backpacker hostels. We run a combination of private rooms and dormitories, and the heart and soul of the concept is actually the common area where everybody comes together. So these are community-led stays which are leveraging the sharing economy concept of a dormitory.
Very interesting. Tell me a little bit about the genesis of this idea.
So backpacker hostels have existed in Europe for years, right? Because in Europe, there is a trend to go on a gap year for about 6 months, 8 months after you finish college and explore the continent, go beyond, explore other countries, sort of a thing. That wasn't the case with India. Interestingly, India had youth hostels back in the day around independence. They were under the Nehru Vikas Kendra, and we used to have youth hostels all over, run by the government.
Very interesting.
I think today also there are 96 youth hostels which are still registered under the government, but nobody knows about them. So I felt that in around 2011, when I went out and stayed in hostels for the first time on my own, I realized this is something that India should have because 30% of our country is young people. 370 million people are in the age group that actually requires a hostel to stay at. And we didn't have anything that this young person could call their own. We had the Tajes, the Oberois, the Lemon Trees, the Sarovar Porticos, which were catering to different price points, different demographics, but nothing specifically for the 18 to 30-year-old, catering to their psychographical requirements. And I felt that this concept of a dormitory-led stay, where you can book a bed in a dorm, much like you book a berth in a train, and where you get to meet like-minded individuals within your dormitory as well in the common areas, was actually not a trade-off. It was an aspirational option available to people to meet like-minded individuals and still stay on a budget. So I thought it was time to borrow that. And I think that's when, right around that time is when the first few hostels started in India.
When did you start? What year did you all start in?
2014.
Okay.
So 2013-14 is when a lot of us, other chains as well, got the idea that let's build hostels for Indians in India. And from zero to today, I think we have around 400, 500 odd hostels across the country.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. So how many does goStops have today in terms of?
We have about 40 hostels.
You have 40 hostels.
Yeah.
Wow. That's, any chain of hotels, conventional hotels that had 40 in number would be a relatively large chain. Tell me a little bit about your numbers, whatever you don't mind sharing. And tell me a little about where you want to be like 5 years down the line in terms of those numbers.
So at present, we are at about 2,500 beds.
Okay.
By March of 26, we will be at about 5,000 odd beds.
Got it.
And by March of 27, we'll be at 10,000 odd beds. So we're doubling our capacity every year.
Got it.
And over the next 5 years, we hope to reach about 25,000 beds. Just to give you a perspective, that means that over a 5-year period, we hope to have about 250 hostels with us.
250
Nothing
hostels.
grand, very doable. A lot of chains already have that much, and given the area that we have within India, it's possible to accomplish this within the country itself.
What makes goStops different? You spoke about there being many other people that have attempted this in India as well. But if you had to tell me 2 or 3 things where you try to be different that you think attracts your user.
So I'll just give you a little bit of background here. In 2014, when we started, the concept of a hostel did not exist online. Actually, a Make My Trip, which was in an Indian OTA or a goIbibo, you wouldn't find a listing for something called a hostel. The category didn't exist. The category has evolved over the last 10 years, 12 years. Earlier, people used to discover us by searching for a price point. Basically, they had filters, which is high to low, low to high in terms of price point. That's how we were discovered by the Indian audience.
Got it.
The only OTAs that were listing hostels as hostels was booking.com, because they do that globally as well.
Got it.
And Hostel World, which is the global platform for hostels, dedicatedly for hostels. And that is why we started out with catering to the foreign backpackers in our early days, right?
Got it.
And then eventually the Make My Trips and the goIbibos, which are extremely critical for people like us who were bootstrapped in the early days and were our marketing partners in the real sense, to start warming up to the category. And when they did, they started creating a filter for hostels, so you could actually filter the hostels out of the hotels.
Very interesting.
And eventually now, 6 months ago, goIbibo, which is the budget version of MMT, as in they have their clientele a little segregated between the two, now has hostels listed up top.
Amazing.
Right under accommodation. So the category has come a whole long way and it is yet to evolve. So is there a unique differentiation that has emerged between all of us? I think it's hard to say right now because the category has a long way to cover.
Got it.
But I think what sort of stands out for us in my mind while I'm building goStops is that we are trying to run this on our own. So we're a full stack operator. So we control the consumer experience end to end. And we are very focused on ensuring that we can scale a community-led experiential stay by being tech first. In fact, I don't even think that we as a company are tech-enabled. I think we're completely tech first. We want to digitize the entire consumer journey and place the control in the hands of the consumer so that they ensure that we gave them a great service.
Tell me a little about what you mean by you cover the full stack. What do you mean by that?
So a full stack operator essentially means that I'm like any other hotel operator.
Got it.
So the P&L is ours.
Got it.
We lease the properties or take it on revenue share. The payroll is ours, all the expenses are ours, and the margins are also as a result ours.
You spoke about being tech first versus being tech enabled. Tell me a little bit about what do you mean by that? What does it mean by being tech first as a hostel brand?
I think we are blessed that we are catering to the 18 to 30-year-old young consumer. And this consumer is spending all their time. They're very digitally native, tech-savvy people. They're doing everything on their phone. Right from ordering food, to ordering groceries, to booking stuff, to meeting people, to finding a date. They're very comfortable with their phones, right? So it just makes it very easy for us to replicate the entire consumer journey on the phone itself. If I was doing it for another age group, I would have found it very difficult. So just to give you a very small example, we don't have an EPBX or a phone in our room.
Interesting.
Right? But we have the app, so you can just raise a complaint on the app, which allows me to digitize the fact that somebody said their toilet wasn't cleaned.
Got it.
And within 15 minutes, that has to be resolved. So I can mark the time that it took for the team to resolve it. And when I'm running 40 hotels spread over Kashmir to Kanyakumari, literally that, then it becomes very easy if the consumer is telling me that I messed up. And in a digitally stamped manner. And very interestingly, India, because it's such a huge country, we need to be very tech savvy, right? That is not the case with Europe, essentially, right? So it's not very easy when I come to foreign backpackers. They're not very comfortable with the app. They don't want to share a lot of things. But Indians are like, oh, I anyway spend everything, all my time on the phone. I'm completely okay with this. So I'm able to build a better delivery because of this.
Got it. We spoke about earlier offline a transition that you made between targeting the foreign traveler versus the Indian traveler. What led to that thought process?
We was very conscious. So when in 2012 I stayed in hostels for the first time, I was very clear that if I go back and leave my job, which I totally loved, and I still adore what I was doing earlier, I was building it for the Indian youth.
Got it.
I was building it for the young Pallavi who didn't have a hostel when she was traveling with her friends. So I was very clear on that. But obviously at that point in time, Indians weren't aware of hostels as much. And you've got to keep the lights on, right?
Yeah.
So I was very clear that our initial 7 to 10 hostels are going to be for the people who already understand what hostels are.
Yeah.
So that we can build the concept, build it profitably, and make it exciting for the Indian youth to actually try it.
Got it.
We started with Varanasi because obviously it's a quintessential Indian experience that most of the foreign backpackers end up doing. Then we went to Delhi, then we went to Jaipur, Agra, Pushkar, the usual, right? Which is part of the trail as far as North India is concerned for foreign backpackers. And when we started out, we were 99% foreign backpackers. In Varanasi, we were fully occupied by month 3, 100% occupancy, operationally positive. By month 3, we were making money, which gave us the, the encouragement to go and expand,
Yeah.
right? But we always knew that we were doing this for the Indians.
Got it.
And we made a lot of effort. And
Got it.
thanks to people like MMT, GoIBibo, Booking.com, who were looking at getting this customer young
Got it.
into, their sort of network so that they could be using them for booking other things later on. There was a lot of support. Without having any marketing spends, we were able to get more Indians to look for us. In the initial days, we used to send out a mail saying, because when Indians started coming, they didn't know what hostels were, right? So we used to send out a mail for every booking saying that you should know what you're getting yourself into. There is no
Amazing.
TV, there is no room service, you've got to pick your own luggage, you're going to lay out your own bed, you're going to cook your own food. All of that used to be sent out. And then if you don't like it, you can cancel your booking with a free refund.
Got it.
People would still come, may not like it. Then we would also cancel it on the spot. But more often than not, most of the people who came, saw the place, loved it, and talked about it. And the word got out there that this is a great place to stay, this is a great way of meeting people.
Got it.
And that's how it sort of all happened. And so by the time COVID hit us in 2020, we had moved from 99% foreign backpackers to 85% Indian travelers.
Wow.
And which is what really helped us, because when we were preparing to shut down for COVID, we knew that we'll bounce back because we already had our Indian audience with us, right? And so just about August 2020, when COVID the restrictions were lifted, the Indian traveler came back.
Wow.
And that's how we survived.
What an inspirational story, yeah, Pallavi. Amazing. You've run a bootstrapped venture at the start.
Yeah.
And now it is a venture funded business.
Correct.
What has been the difference?
I think when you're bootstrapped, you've got to do a lot on your own, right? Like you've got to have the ability to roll your sleeves up and get down on the ground, and at the same time think 30,000 mile and look at the larger picture. You've got to do all of it.
Yeah.
You don't have too much senior leadership available with you.
Yeah.
But I think when you do raise venture capital,
Yeah.
one of the biggest tasks that the only job that is left for the founder at that point in time is to get the right people on board.
Got it. Tell me there's a lot of talk about how the Indian traveler and the global traveler have changed post-COVID. Have you seen any difference in the traveler pre-COVID and post-COVID from your very close observation?
I don't see a huge difference per se.
Yeah.
The average length of stay pre-COVID for us was 2.5 days.
Got it.
The average length of stay post-COVID for us is about 3 days.
Correct.
What COVID has done is given people a hybrid model to work out of office.
Got it.
So as a result, people are able to take longer breaks as against just over the weekends.
Yeah.
The concept of, I wouldn't say it's completely digital nomads and they're staying and working from the hills or the beaches only.
Got it.
But they're able to take longer breaks. So vacation, 5-day packages, 4-day packages become more relevant.
Got it.
Pre-COVID, for example, Wi-Fi was not a necessity as far as your accommodation was concerned.
Interesting.
Now, a lot of people are working on the move. So Wi-Fi has become as important as oxygen.
Got it.
We've had to step up for that.
Yeah.
So these are some of the changes, I think. And Besides that, I think every generation is different, right?
Yeah.
The Gen Z is very different from millennials.
Yeah.
They're marrying later, they're financially independent earlier, they're
it.
their own person.
Yeah.
So travel is featuring very high in their
Yeah.
basket of consumption.
Correct. Because we keep hearing about the YOLO phenomena with travelers, right? That post-COVID, there's a boom in the sector overall because of this YOLO phenomena. But I think you're seeing it in some way in your
Yes,
hostel.
yes. I think it's also to do with self-care, mindfulness, which
Yeah.
are very important things that the Gen Z believes in.
Got it.
So they are spending a little more time to discover themselves.
I have a question. Do you see what's the split between solo travelers versus travelers coming in as a couple or a group? Do you have that data with you?
Yes, absolutely. It's a great question. India doesn't travel solo.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
So, and which is okay.
Yeah.
The travel, the way we adopt travel is going to change over the years, right? Right now, India is traveling in small groups.
Got it.
And it's lovely because it's usually like mixed gender groups. 2 girls, 1 guy, 2 guys, 1 girl. You basically Wednesday, you're sitting in the office, you're getting the midweek blues. You decide that I want to look at some nice beaches and hill stations. I want to head out of my city. You sort of post the idea of heading out on the weekend on several of your WhatsApp groups that your friends are on. And some of them say yes. Not all of them will say yes. Now you're not dependent on your group to all say yes.
Yeah.
Even if you get 1 or 2 people to join you, you go to the ISBT, take that Volvo and head out of the city.
So
because you
interesting.
know that you'll find your tribe when you go to a hostel.
Yeah.
So that has become easier. So small groups is what we are seeing rather than large groups.
Large groups.
Which and impulse purchase, right? Like it's not like they've planned 1 month in advance.
Yeah.
It's literally 4 days in advance, 3 days in advance, and which is lovely because it just means that it is an act of celebrating your own self.
Yeah. And that's so interesting because I think there was a generation of Indians that didn't travel that much. And even when they did travel, it was never an impulse purchase.
Correct.
It was always booked way in advance
Right.
and planned. So this is, I think, a huge change in the customer psyche of an Indian.
Yes.
Yeah, that's interesting. Tell me some turning points in your journey towards scale. Can you identify anything which you would say is an inflection point or a turning point which really helped you all move up the chain in terms of number of hostels?
COVID was devastating.
Correct.
A lot of us lost so much, but
Yeah.
to every situation there is a silver lining. During COVID, real estate crashed.
Got it.
Especially hospitality. People didn't want to hold on to the hotels that they were holding on to earlier.
Yeah.
And that was the time that we really expanded.
Yeah.
We doubled down on the hostels that we wanted to add.
Yeah.
They were available to us at a great price. We had already built good relationships with our landlords. They were able to recommend us to others. And some of our best hostels were added during that time.
Got it.
And that's probably the inflection point.
Yeah.
We're able to raise what we have done today in terms of a Series A round because we added most of our inventory during that time.
Got it.
And we waited. I remember we said that maybe shared spaces will not exist anymore. What will happen about social distancing? Because the words were social distancing. How can somebody stay in a dorm then?
Yeah.
But then everybody was grappling with that new reality, right? And we were like, what will happen to buses? What will happen to planes? What will happen to trains? What will happen to cinemas? Where will they all go? They all stayed, right? So we waited it out. We realized people were back to not socially distancing themselves. The world hadn't changed to a socially distant planet.
Yeah.
And that's when we started adding inventory.
If you had to speak to a founder that was in a space which was similar to yours, that means it's not a totally digital experience or it's not a SaaS product, in a very brick-and-mortar business, what would your 2 or 3 suggestions be to him in terms of what do they need to do to scale?
Location. First is obviously location. You've got to understand your catchment area. Brick and mortar, there are multiple things. There could be retail, it could be restaurants, it could be hotels.
Yeah.
You've got to understand where your customer would like to find you, right? One of the things that, for example, for us was that we needed to be in a city, but we didn't need to be in the primest of the areas because our consumer would prefer a great view over a crowded, middle of the city kind of a location. So it made things easier for us because we understood that about the consumer. So you have to understand where does your consumer need you.
Got it.
That's one thing. The second thing is you've always got to work your numbers, because if you're in a brick and mortar setup, you've got to figure out, when you pay salaries, you pay rent, you pay electricity, all of that, what are you going to make after you've paid everything? What is your bottom line on that particular store?
Got it.
So that's very important.
Got it.
And I think the third part is obviously because it's completely brick and mortar. Who are the people who are going to run that place?
Wow.
So these are the three things I think.
That's such great advice. So how has PayU helped you in this entire journey?
It has been our payment gateway for a very long time. They were there when we were taking bookings on the website, and they were there when we started taking bookings on the app.
Got it. So I think payments has played a huge role in terms of you being able to scale your operation.
Absolutely.
Up, right? And what you mentioned also, I'm sure, helps with cash flow a lot.
Correct.
Right? Because this is a capital intensive business and cash flow really matters.
And reduces dependence on cash completely.
Yeah. Anything that comes to your mind where PayU made scaling easier for you?
I think the ability to integrate it.
Got it.
Just integrate it in our app and our website. It was so easy that we could start collecting payments.
Got it.
And it wasn't a concern.
Got it. So any kind of the seamless integration that you have done of payments through PayU has really helped in your scale journey.
Yeah. The interesting thing is now, because of COVID, again, it's because of COVID. Because of COVID, because of demonetization. Everybody's on UPI now.
Got it.
Yeah. So as a result, even though we are with PayU, majority of our payments come through UPI.
Oh, interesting.
And that's what the young consumer is doing.
Wow. Give me the last bit of advice that you have for founders. Is there anything that you want them to keep in mind as they try to build and scale a company? Any last bits of advice that you have?
I'm very bad at giving advice, first of all. Secondly, I don't think all founders are different.
Yeah.
And they have to build according to their DNA.
Yeah.
They have to build according to what motivates them and what keeps them up at night, what really drives them. But I think if there was one thing that I could say from my journey, which is completely different from all the other founders out there, is that we have been at it for the last 10, 11 years, and we never thought that the industry will be recognized the way it's getting recognized today. So I would just say stick it out. If you believe in something, just hang in there. There'll be a lots of ups and downs. But if you just stick it out, there'll be a time when somebody will be able to see what you're building and why you're building and what is the problem that you're trying to solve.
Yeah.
So I think just hang in there.
Pallavi, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I think what you're doing is extremely important for India. I think you're an extremely inspirational entrepreneur because you're operating in a sector that nobody thought was glamorous. They probably do now, but when you first started off, it wasn't something that people thought was very glamorous, and yet you stuck to your knitting, went through many a crisis, and now you're building something of tremendous importance and of scale. So I congratulate you, and I wish you all the very best in your journey ahead. May your dream of 250 hostels just be the very start of your entrepreneurial journey. And I'm hoping when we connect 10 years down the line, that number is that scale is at 2,500 hostels, not just in India, but all over the world.
Wow. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pallavi.
Thank you, Swapnil.